Welcome to 303 Hoops, a whole lot more than the box score. For you hoop junkies, number nerds, or just someone who loves basketball, this is for the love of the game. Live from 303, I'm Ryan Hinske.
And I'm Caleb Bunch. And we switched it up today, Ryan.
We're
suited and booted
today.
No, in all seriousness, though, guys, Ryan and I, as you guys know, we are in journalism school, and every Wednesday we shoot for one of our classes a studio show. So we are in our studio attire right now, and why not, you know? You guys get to see the more formal side of us. Yeah. So I guess it's a good switch up.
More sophisticated.
More
formal, like you said. But, we're recording on a Wednesday because we have our last day before Thanksgiving break.
Yeah.
We'll tell you a little bit more about that at the end of the episode. But, we have a lot of stuff to get into.
We do.
Just, feast your eyes on the guys today.
Spiffy, man.
Yeah, feeling good.
Looking nice. I like the tie. The red tie with the, not polka dots, but the design in it.
You don't have a bad tie yourself.
I don't.
I really like that
Everyone,
tie.
I am wearing Ryan's tie right now. His dad has an amazing collection, so shout out to Ryan's dad. If you're watching, your son is an amazing person and gave me the tie today. So look, sponsored partially by the Hinske family.
Yeah. Thank you, Dad, for having so many ties that you just feed me ties when I need them.
That's awesome.
But we can't go on about basketball without going on about our favorite songs. And a song I want to talk about today is Wild Horses by the Rolling Stones. This is their best song, I think. They're a rock band, but this is like not a rare moment, but like a moment of very intimate, like it's a very, not slow, but it's acoustic. Mm-hmm. And it's a little bit more like, feels more like a campfire mountain song, which is kind of getting out of their comfort zone a little bit. And the Wild Horses, like the Dallas Mavericks, who have no control over their organization. I don't know. I feel like you did so well with the puns.
Yeah, I don't have one
today,
episodes,
man. And
I don't have one.
I just had to
gotta get that in.
Yeah, had to.
Fair enough.
It's a great song.
Yeah, but I'm gonna be honest. I'll admit I haven't listened to much Rolling Stones, so I need to get into that more. I'm trying to expand the palette, and I feel like courtesy of you, I'm able to do that. And like, you give me some good song suggestions to listen to sometimes.
Same with me, man.
So, hey,
same way.
It.
You got all kinds. You got a
good
deep
stuff,
bag of.
We try
of music. So
we
let's
do.
hear your side too.
Yeah. Speaking of deep bag, this person you guys may not know. He's super under the radar. I have Drake as my artist today.
He might have the deepest bag in all of history.
Yeah. You guys may know this guy.
Mm-hmm.
But no, my song is Faithful, Drake, Views. We were talking about this earlier. I feel like it's a super underrated Drake song. Views, super underrated album by Drake.
It's my favorite.
A lot of classics on that tape, man. A lot of classics. And it doesn't get the praise it needs, I think when you look at that, that's kind of really, I would say, not that Drake's fallen off, but it's like his, I don't want to say magnum opus, but it's like, that's really the last album before he kind of shifted his sound, I think. Like, that's when I think people refer to old Drake, quote unquote. Like, that's the end of that era.
You don't put More Life in there, too, with Drake?
I don't know. It feels different. I don't know.
It does feel a little
something different. About, I know, maybe it's the fact that it's a playlist, but something about Views feels, even though it's a longer album, feels concise, consolidated, like clear vision. Drake had a consistent theme throughout the album. I love that album. So
he did that early on, too. That was sort of his sound. Yeah. And I feel like new Drake, every album's a completely different sound.
Yeah.
There are benefits to that, though.
There are. Shows that you have versatility as an artist, but I miss this Drake. And Pimp C is also featured on that song, who a part of the legendary group UGK. Got to listen to them if you guys don't. So one of the best songs of all time, International Players album, Pimp C's on it. So take a listen, guys. But I know we talk music all the time, but something we also do talk about a lot is basketball. This is a hoops podcast. So Ryan, I've been watching NBA. Obviously you have too. And we've, kind of been surprised by some teams, players, but I think there's one particular team that somehow, some way, is finding ways to win, and that team is
the Los Angeles Lakers.
Exactly.
Welcome to I Must Confess. On this Thursday, when you're watching this, it's Thursday, maybe. When we released it, it's Thursday.
Whenever we'll release.
You could be watching this in years from now, and that'd be awesome.
We hope so.
If you are, hope you're doing well. Yeah, we have to confess that we have talked so little about this team.
Yeah.
And we kind of found ourselves when we were preparing this segment scratching our heads saying, why is this team 11-4?
Yeah.
Why do they have 4 losses?
Right.
What is it that has made them special? LeBron, we felt like this was also good timing because LeBron returned on
back.
Tuesday night. The King is back. And he played a very extreme version of what he's been playing since getting to the Lakers, which is just such a game manager instead of a scorer.
Right.
So let's talk about it.
Yeah, I don't know. With LeBron coming back, I'm interested to see how that team gels, right? Not that LeBron's like a bad player to play with or anything, obviously not. But it's just obviously when that much attention and gravity is associated with a certain player, it's like obviously players kind of have to redefine their roles, right? I know that they've had injury bug early in the year where there's been LeBron being out, Austin Reeves has missed some games, Luka as well, but they found ways to win, and I think that's super impressive from that squad. I thought the jury was out on JJ, but they're 11-4 right now. And even though they don't have eye-popping stats, the most important thing in this league is winning, right? That's a remedy for everything. And they've done that. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how, like I talked about, with the chemistry coming back and then also having all their players healthy, specifically what that team will look like. Obviously, we saw a little bit of what Luka and LeBron looked like together after Nico Harrison decided to give up the face of Dallas. So, I think...
See where that got.
Yeah, exactly. And now he is out of a job. So, yeah, I think particularly, though, what's helped this team a lot is their efficiency. And I think you can touch on that more. But their first and true shooting percentage, 62%. And I think when you're able to play efficient basketball like that, that's a tough team to beat.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, like some of the players they have. Like, remember Nick Smith?
Yeah.
Like, Nick Smith led the team in assists one game that they won against Portland. Like, they've got, like, all kinds of different players that they just always seem to bring in and somehow just do a decent enough job.
Yeah.
And, it's interesting. 10 of their 15 games had a 30-ball or more. So, like, for me, my main point in this segment is heroics.
Yeah.
This team built themselves on not being very deep.
No.
However, they have the greatest of all time, arguably. I would argue. Luka Doncic.
Yeah, top 3 player.
You bring in another superstar like they did with AD the last time they made finals run. So those are 2 things that are the same from the last time they made a run to the finals. And developing their own star, and the tertiary star, Austin Reeves.
Yeah.
Who is a walking bucket.
Had a coming out party this year, man.
Like, we knew about Austin Reeves,
right.
And it's like, oh, maybe he's like a fringe all-star. Then he drops 51 against Sacramento on October 26th. And he was doing like snake eye shots, like not even looking at the basket.
Ridiculous.
It's just like whenever he puts the ball up, it kind of like Luka. It's just like finds its way on the rim and rolls in.
Right. And
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But
no worries.
It's just crazy that he's averaging 30 this year. He's averaging 28.
First in the league.
5 rebounds and 7 assists. So I think he's missed some time more recently, so those numbers have kind of dwindled compared to when he was playing. He was first in the league, and I think other players have kind of like jumped him just because of him being out. But it's insane. Like you were saying, just heroics. Like when he's averaging 30, Luka was averaging 40 at one point. And then DeAndre Ayton cares about basketball again.
Yeah.
Love to see that. He's shooting 70% from the field, 3rd in the league, averaging 16, 9, and I mean, assists don't matter for big men, but an assist. It's just crazy to see. So it's like, whether it's heroics or then contributions from other players, like they're finding a way to play winning basketball. And like we talked about, I think we'll see how that looks going forward for that squad, right? Like we don't necessarily see any eye-popping stats when looking at it right now, but I would imagine though that once all their players start coming back fully healthy in the rotation consistently, that we will see some of those metrics start to shift. Like I would anticipate their offensive rating to be a lot higher than it currently is. I think right now if I'm not mistaken.
They're in the middle.
Yeah.
And defensive rating too, net rating.
Right. They're 13th or tied 13th for offensive rating right now. So not necessarily an elite team offensively by advanced stats, but that's going to change soon to come.
And the advanced stats don't jump out at you. And that's why I wanted to talk about heroics, because and this team just isn't built to be like this well-oiled machine that like LeBron just slots into, kind of like what they did with Giannis when they won the championship. And like I think there's a certain advantage that the Lakers have where they were approached by Nico Harrison. They were like, we can't ignore this trade. And they had been trying to build up depth for a few years, but when it comes to getting that big name, and then you have Austin Reeves, you can just barely pay him, go over the tax window, pay that luxury tax, and probably pay those load management fines. They're probably going to have to pay a few fines. Yeah,
that second apron's going to hit them.
Yeah. But also the load managing, like the Cavs got fined the other day.
Yeah.
But I think the Lakers are probably going to be the most fined team, if not the Clippers. Yeah. Someone in LA will be the most fined team. And I think that because that's like a new thing and load managing is being discouraged, but when you're the Lakers, you have to question it.
Right.
Like when you have injury-prone player like Luka, and even Reeves has been in and out, I think you just have to put the roster on the floor that has the freshest legs and hope that one of them drops 40. And it's worked so far.
Right.
And I don't know if that's going to sustain being the 3 or 4 seed in the West. But if they can avoid the play-in at the end of the day and get that extra rest going into the playoffs, then you're doing better than, honestly, I feel like probably some Lakers execs thought they would be doing.
Right. I was going to ask you, do you think they care? Like, do you think for them it's almost as if as long as we squeak in to the playoffs, whether that's a 5 seed, 6 seed, 7 seed, we'll be fine? Or do you think they do want to have home court advantage and not have to deal with the antics of a longer season with obviously the play-in, playing extra games and stuff like that?
I think you've made this point with the Clippers, and I think they actually don't care at all because they can just put, if everyone's healthy, they can just put a great product on the court. They just don't have the luxury of putting that product out every night. Mm-hmm. With the Lakers, I think it's a little different because I really think they don't want to be in the play-in again. They keep getting into the play-in. They've had a streak of it where the Clippers are like 4 or 5 seed usually every year.
Right, and they can avoid that.
Right, and I think, when you run that risk and then you say, oh, if we lose one play, let's say they finish 9th. They lose one game, and then they start next season, LeBron's 41.
I know.
Right? And
which is crazy.
He's turning 41 on December 30th.
Hey, my king.
Right? 41, right? He's 40. Yeah, he could even be turning 42. But it's crazy. But, if you get into the play-in, you don't have that 7-game pad. It's just if you lose one game or if you win one game and then lose the second, then that's it. And then LeBron's 42.
Right.
So I think they don't want to run that risk. I think they do want to win enough regular season games and get into a series where they can just at least lose game 1 and feel okay.
Right.
I just don't think, for me, that's mentally taxing. If I'm J.J. Redick in my second season and we miss the playoffs, but even before my time as coach, they're just always in the play-in.
Exactly. Because I was about to say last year,
team than that.
Last year they avoided the play-in, and it boded well for them, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're dealing with your second best player at the current moment being a 40-year-old who was out with sciatica, I think you're hedging your bets against the fact that we want to be a team that's able to have either home court advantage or just avoiding those extra games in totality.
I don't know about home court advantage. I don't know if they're going to get that. Mm-hmm. Maybe they can. You put them at 5 in the preseason
I did have them at 5.
So maybe they can.
So they're teetering on it.
Yeah, and I put them at 8, and I'm like, even if they're going on the road against the 1 seed, the Nugget or the Thunder probably.
Right.
And you don't want to be there.
No.
But
not in Oklahoma City.
If it's second round and they're still healthy, and you have the experience of LeBron and Luka, and we've seen what Luka can do to really good teams.
Especially in the playoffs.
I'm sorry, but the Clippers were the best team in the bubble. On paper.
On paper, they were.
Luka himself defeated them.
Because who even was on that Maverick squad?
Yeah,
Tim Hardaway Jr.
Like Dwight Powell was still on the team. Yeah,
I mean, Jalen Brunson before Jalen Brunson was Jalen Brunson.
But he wasn't Jalen Brunson.
Exactly.
Yet. I mean, of course he was Jalen Brunson. Like, let's give him some.
I'll give him some props.
Yeah,
yes.
But he wasn't.
He was not New York Jalen Brunson.
Yeah. So I don't know. And it's weird because I think the whole NBA is injured right now. Like ESPN posted, or it might have been SportsCenter, how many players are injured right now.
It's a lot.
And you'd think at the beginning of the season, you say, oh, on November 19th, ESPN's going to post that 20 players are injured. You'd think at least 2 of them were on the Lakers. None of them.
Yeah.
None of them are injured right now. So maybe it's a bad sample that we have from these 15 games. But if they push another 15 and then we're halfway through the season looking at the All-Star break and they're still looking pretty good, I don't know. They're going to need a lot more heroics.
They will.
And then they're going to need even more in the playoffs. But I trust the heroics of LeBron and Luka in the playoffs. They just have to get there.
Right.
That's what I'm worried about.
It'll be interesting. And like you said, their depth is concerning when looking at who their bench players are. It's like we're relying on Gabe Vincent and crew, essentially. For
Cam Reddish is still around, right?
Yeah, he might even be. He's overseas now, I think.
I don't.
Their
even know.
team is
Jackson Hayes.
Is like Jackson Hayes, Koloko, if I'm not mistaken, Maxi Kleber,
Marcus Smart. That's a nice.
Marcus Smart, but he's been in and out.
Yeah.
So it's that team.
Vincent.
It's make the playoffs and we'll figure the rest out.
And it's like even after this year, right? Like they're gonna lose a lot of their 1-year contract players.
Yeah.
You think like Jake LaRavia is worth $6 million? No, he's worth more than that now.
Yeah.
He's looking good. He looks like a good NBA player. Not that he wasn't before, but like $6 million.
I didn't know who he was before the season. I will not admit. I will admit.
Yeah, and they traded for him out of Memphis, and he wasn't really doing much in Memphis, and he's looked pretty good. Jared Vanderbilt, another player who's, it's like, is he going to miss a full season or not? Like, how's his health going to be? You just don't get these opportunities every day, and every season. So I think the Lakers are going to want to do as well as they can in the regular season. I also think, here's another point, J.J. Redick's that kind of coach. He wants to win.
He is. And I think we saw that last season with how eager and how he was a little testy in a lot of his pre- and post-conferences.
Picked up some techs.
He did.
Yeah.
And I think you could tell that he's really wanting to take the mantle and take on that responsibility of being the next Lakers coach, not a stopgap like we've seen with the previous coaches, whether that's been Walton, Scott, etc., but him staying there for a long time.
He wants
even
to succeed.
Vogel and Ham, both of which has success with the Lakers, and they're not there anymore. So I think he wants to be there for a long time.
Yeah, I think he wants to be. I think he wants to be one of the best.
Yeah,
he was one of the best shooters of all time. One of the best analysts when he was an analyst.
I know.
Like he was awesome,
amazing.
Yeah, and now he wants to be one of the best coaches. That's the kind of guy he is.
He's super competitive.
Yeah.
So I know we've talked about the Lakers not as much as this team I'm about to mention, Ryan, but we're going to talk about this team, my Duke Blue Devils. Bull City, baby. Bull City.
He's been doing that all day.
What a game last night against Kansas, who was ranked in the top 25. Duke was 5, if I'm not mistaken. Kansas was 24. And it was a showing. It was awesome. From start to finish, got everything we want.
Great game.
Yeah, it was competitive. It was close. I know the score is a difference of 12, but it was really until those last 2 minutes that there was a back and forth between Kansas and Duke. But 2 blue blood programs, too. Bill Self, established, well-respected coach in all circles of hoops, not even college basketball. And then John Shire. People know him. People respect him. He's had good teams at Duke, but I think a lot of people have questioned whether or not he knows X's and O's or if he's just a recruiting savant. But I think he came out last night and showed that he can be both.
In late game scenarios, they were great because honestly, during that second half, I thought this guy Melvin Council Jr. would never miss a layup again in his entire career. I mean, that guy they brought contact, they brought everything at him, and he just charged to the rim with this spirit in him. And
he's so fast too.
That guy is an exciting guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know how they're going to stop him. Mm-hmm. And he went 6 for 15 overall, but like in those moments where it was getting down to the final 5 minutes,
right.
It was like this guy might have like the craziest heat check that the Dukies can't come back from.
Yeah. And Trey White for Kansas played well. I know Badinga got into foul trouble, but when he was on the court, he was a beast. You know, I was like, I'm a huge Boozer fan. Carlos, the dad, thank you for giving us those 2 twins, Caden and Cam. Oh, man.
First ACC freshman to put up...
I think it was 100 points, 50 rebounds, and 20 assists in their first 5 games. So he's exciting to watch. But not even just him. I think I texted you when Isaiah Evans made a couple big threes. I was like, good. Slim. Yeah. So, yeah, that squad is so fun to watch, man. But it's also, I think, a testament, though, to Kansas. I know they don't want moral victories, but they were without their star. Darren Peterson didn't play, who we've talked about on previous episodes by many outlets is considered the number 1 overall pick and the best guard in the country, irrespective of age, class, etc. But considering they were able to play a competitive game and they were without their best player, really shows how much fight and how well coached that team was last night.
They were. And Bill Self's been around, obviously. Got a disappointing loss against Arkansas in the first round of the tournament last year. But like you said, refreshed lineup, right? It was a little bit like, let's Hunter Dickinson, every shaky on him all year. And it just didn't come through in the tournament as good of a college player as he was. But the refreshed lineup, and they probably maybe would have won if they were fully healthy.
No, possible. But I don't want to think about that because we got the W last night. And
5-0.
Yeah, exactly. 5-0, baby. But I texted one of my roommates earlier in the year when we were playing Texas, or my former roommate, I should say, at Emory. When we were playing Texas, I was like, this is going to be a long season for Duke. We might not make it past the Sweet 16 this year, but I'm forgetting that. I didn't say that. We're winning the chip. Last night was all I needed to see. I think the continuity of the roster played really well, and people that decided to come back and not transfer. I know in college basketball these days it's hard to have buy-in for people who aren't playing immediately, but Darren Harris was able to come into the game and give quality minutes. Caleb Foster, he's a vet now, able to see the floor much better than he was in previous years, and he stayed around with the program, so having a veteran presence like him has helped. And then also we had Pat Ngumba, big man.
Yeah.
He was on the team last year. Ooh,
he played great.
I'm getting excited. Pat Ngumba was on the team last year. He didn't play as much because Kamen Malawach, who's now on the Suns, was our starting center, but he decided to stay, and he's really grown into a better defensive and offensive player. So I'm excited what I'm seeing from the Dukies, man. I know you picked Louisville to win your ACC, but nah.
I still feel good about my pick.
I mean, it's a good. It was a
close game. They shot 65% from the free throw line, but one thing that I did underestimate Duke on before the season started, really great rebounding team. Yeah. 13 offensive rebounds in this game. I didn't think Cameron Boozer was that kind of rebounder at like the 3-4 position or whatever position he plays. Like they could put any 5 players out there and they could just be a really talented roster. But that hasn't always gotten Duke to the promised land.
No, it hasn't. And we saw that last year, right? Yeah. Probably on paper one of the best teams ever assembled.
Yeah. Since the Zion RJ Barrett team that did the same thing. As far as
RJ and Zion went to Elite 8 last year. Oh my gosh, I'm PTSDing right now. But when we lost to Houston, when we had the lead, a lot of freshman antics happened in that game when, just inexperienced, so you're not able to come through in those big-time moments. Whether the moment was actually getting to them or not, I don't know, or whether it was coaching. That was not decided, and I'm not the one to say, but I have faith in this squad this year. I think we can go far. I always reserve my judgments. I know 2 minutes ago I said we're winning the chip.
Very broad statement there.
We're going far. And then we'll revisit this episode with whatever happens.
They're going on a long flight to Cancun is what I think they're going to do. They're going far. Geographically.
Yeah.
Maybe, once they get knocked out of the tournament.
I hope not, man. You're going to see me going to be shedding tears.
No, they really are a fun team. I think they are. I just don't think they're as good as they were last year. And I think that those same problems will persist in the clutch moments where They are built with freshmen.
They are.
Right? Whereas like a team like Houston just has really impressive roster continuity during NIL era.
Right.
So, those still concern me. You can't win on pure talent. That's what's so beautiful about college basketball.
Yeah.
But it was a really quality win. And on the other hand, Kentucky.
I know.
Lost to Michigan State.
Raced.
And it wasn't even close.
Boat race.
Not even close.
Michigan State is good this year. I'll give them that. They've had impressive victories. They played Arkansas, won
they
that
weren't on
game.
my radar like this.
No. And we didn't even talk about them in our Big Ten segment.
We
really.
didn't.
Goodness.
Yeah, we keep having to confess about Big Ten teams.
I must confess, we did not have the Sparties.
We did
that highly.
And we already did a I must confess about Big Ten teams we forgot about.
I know.
This team's good.
This team is good.
And they always are. It's Tom Izzo. But, they ran Kentucky out of the gym.
It was
50%, 50% from three, 80% from the line.
It's hard to beat a team when they're
against
shooting
Kentucky.
50% from three. And this was a lot of concerns that people had for Kentucky was defensive identity. They have a lot of skilled players that obviously are able to get their own buckets. Like we have seen Otego Owe, who just originally in the draft but decided to come back to play for Mark Pope. And a lot of buy-in has been an issue for them. And Mark Pope talked about this in his press conference yesterday, that they're simply not a well-coached team right now, whether it's just the X's and O's that Mark Pope is drawing up or having his players want to play for him and their fellow teammates, right? And not being selfish and wanting to share the ball is something that we've seen, and it's gotten them in trouble so far.
The body language of Mark Pope last night did concern me.
Yeah.
He looked a little bit puzzled.
Yeah.
And as a coach, that you just never want to see that from a coach. And
right.
Aberdeen shooting 1 for 8.
That hurt.
In 31 minutes. You should probably put up more attempts than that, if you're trying to come from behind like that. But just nothing worked for them last night.
Yeah.
Especially in the first half.
It was tough to watch. I told my roommate, or former roommate, who was also a Kentucky fan, same guy, I'm like, it's a tough day to be a Wildcat, man. 2 losses this early in the year. You're going to learn from those losses, obviously, but not what you want to see this early in the Pope era. But I know, Ryan, this is our last segment that we're doing before break.
Yes. Before a 1-week break.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving break. We're going to come back. We'll do 1, maybe 2 more. We'll see. Well, we'll gauge. If you guys really spam this one up, if you like and subscribe.
Please do.
And we'll probably do 2.
303 Hoops.
But,
easy name.
Yeah, we'll be back for next week. But then after that, we're going to do the, winter break. We're going to really reset after a long quarter.
Right.
But this next week, Thanksgiving, it's the holidays. We're not going to make you watch 303 Hoops next Thursday anyway. Why would we do that?
Enjoy Turkey Day, people.
Enjoy Turkey Day.
Enjoy. Play flag football in the yard. Do whatever you do. Fellowship with your family, friends, whoever, neighbors.
And we'll see you on December 2nd.
That is when we will be back. So every Tuesday and Thursday, except next week. Tune in here. This has been 303 Hoops. Until next time.